Since it looks like this receiver is running towards the safety, the cornerback on the left side is not going to cover him, and he's going to follow the other route, while this guy here can basically just be bullet and pass led away from the safety for another easy one-play touchdown. And that's because this mid-read defender is really difficult to get over the top of after the last patch. But on this play, he doesn't even see that receiver. He goes over to the tight end instead, leaving this receiver wide open to split the safeties right over the middle for a very easy one-play touchdown. If you guys are looking for fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Team. This is Madden Money Shot, sniffing out the Madden cheese as always. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys one of the most explosive passing offenses in the game out of the exact same formation that I gave you guys one of the most explosive rushing attacks out of in my gameplay video yesterday. But before I do, as always, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section, and that's going to go right into the video. Now, I'm once again in my Washington Commanders offensive ebook, and that's because I'm trying to show you guys how good this particular playbook is, as it has some of the glitchiest plays in the entire game, and a lot of them are only found in Washington. So if you guys want more plays from just about any one of these offenses, because this is definitely one of the biggest playbooks that I've ever put out, you guys can download that or any of my ebooks instantly simply by clicking links in the description or the top pinned comment. But I'm going to start off in the pistol weak slot. But I'm first going to remind you guys of the run scheme that I showed you guys yesterday. If you didn't catch that video, I will have a link to that popping up on screen at the end of the video, as well as popping up in the top right hand corner right now. But I showed 2 run plays in that video, really 3, as I showed the halfback slam also. But the main plays, the explosive plays, were the motion slot triple option and the power option, which are going to be 2 of the plays that I'm going to be running the most. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a one-play touchdown against every single defense in the game that you can do out of the PA dagger, which is a very unique play. And we're also going to start off with what I think is one of the best defenses in the entire game right now, and that's Tampa 2, because Tampa 2 got some much needed improvements in the last update, making it a very hard defense to stop. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So we're just going to go, we're going to pick this one here, as one of the things that was really, needed to be fixed when it comes to Tampa 2 is how the mid-read reacts to routes in their area. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what this looks like, as the mid-read just gets really deep. And you'll see how the B receiver can still split these safeties, but it's going to be even easier if I move the ball over to the other hash mark. If I were to just run the ball from the other hash or just flip the play from where I was, you can tell that all I really did was put the X receiver here on a streak. And now that I'm on the other hash mark, you're going to notice how the mid-read doesn't react to this B receiver at all. So we have a much easier wide open touchdown this time, which is something that's actually very difficult to do in the game right now. But this is also a very good play against cover 3. So we're going to pick that again. We're going to switch over to cover 3 sky this time. Now this play is going to work the same way, as you're going to want to run from a hash mark to the wide side of the field like we did with the cover 2, and it's going to have much more success. But realistically, you can probably run it just about anywhere in between the hash marks, just as long as you're always running to the open side of the field. So for this play, all we're going to do, motion out this fullback. If you see the safety, what he did there is he moved over towards the center of the field a little bit more, based on the fact that we have now what looks like a spread alignment with 2 receivers on both sides. You could do the same thing with the running back, but you want to leave the notion that you could potentially run the ball with the running back. And if you motion out the running back, your opponent knows you're not going to hand to the fullback. There's not a lot of fullback runs. So motioning this guy out, putting him on a streak, and putting the X receiver on a comeback route. And we're basically going to play on the fact that the A receiver looks like he's going towards the cornerback, and the B receiver looks like he's angling towards the safety. The fact that that's happening is what's going to make the cornerback not react to the B receiver and drop down to the corner route. Although I could also custom stem this route up if I want to, but you don't really have to do that. You just have to wait for that outside receiver to react. And then you can see he's dropping down that corner route as your bullet and passing away from the safety for a very easy one-play touchdown once again. So on this play here, since it looks like this receiver is running towards the safety, the cornerback on the left side is not going to cover him, and he's going to follow the other route, while this guy here can basically just be bullet and pass led away from the safety for another easy one-play touchdown. And that's also going to have success when it comes to things like cover 3 match, which is basically the same thing. So we'll go ahead and pick cover 3 match. As matching cover 3 is a little bit different. You don't get that same look if I motion this guy out. One of the things that makes match cover 3 so good is the fact that we're going to have the seams matched by the curl flats, as there's nothing else really in the area. So you can see how the B receiver here has somebody running with him the entire way up the field, which is obviously going to make it difficult to do that. So all you really have to do is the second setup, which is going to be to put the running back or the fullback on a wheel route and motion them out. Now you can put a running back at the fullback position. I have a traditional fullback. He's not even really a fullback. He's actually a linebacker, but he has no route running ability whatsoever. And you're going to see it's not going to matter, because basically what's going to happen is the in route is going to clear for him to the point where he's wide open over the top. And this is going to be a pretty consistent look, because anytime you have 3 receivers to one side, it can always give match coverages issues. As you can see, we got a huge pick set here, and this guy is just left wide open running down the sideline for another easy one-play touchdown. And that's going to be the same setup when it comes to just about any matching defense. We're going to pick the PA dagger one more time. We're going to switch over to cover 4 match, which is going to be cover 4 quarters first. And there's actually more than one way you can do this, which I'll show you in a second, but we're going to keep it consistent with this wheel route by putting him on a wheel route and motioning him out. And that's all you really have to do, as once again, this particular defender here cannot turn and run. It did look like I got bumped into a little bit there, but it wasn't even the defensive player that time. It looked like the offensive player got bumped into, and it still didn't matter because, like I said, wheel routes are very good, especially at the line of scrimmage when it comes to beating man coverages. You can see right here, the defender that's supposed to cover him in the last play was the middle linebacker right in front of it, but on this play, it's actually the guy that's jamming the receiver. Now he's way behind already, as I didn't really have to do anything. As you can see, once again, we got bumped into a little bit, but we still kept our acceleration for a very easy one-play touchdown with this defense again. Now, there is another setup you can do for cover 4 where you're going to basically take that exact same fullback, motion the line of scrimmage, and put him on a streak. Once again, you can use the running back, so whichever one you want to use, you can do, but I don't want to use Saquon Barkley because I think people will say that's the only reason he's getting open. But you'll notice on this play against cover 4 match, or at least cover 4 quarters, that the safety on the other side of the field is basically in a position where he has to match the wide receiver, and since he's all the way across the field, he's never going to get over in time, as he realizes it late, and I can basically just bomb it up because he's got so much field to cover to get across the field. This way is much easier, as he's basically just going to streak right down the middle of the field without anybody picking him up, and that's because the safety across the field is responsible for him, and he's way too late to figure that out by the time we're already crossing the end zone. And both of these setups can work against cover 4 palms as well, which to me is a much better defense. Let's go and pick cover 4 palms. As you could do the exact same setup with the wheel route, where we're really going to rely on the fact that we're going to get some bumping around that will help the wide receiver get open, but you can see how it's definitely not as good. The better setup against cover 4 palms is going to be the second setup that I showed you, where you motion this guy out and put him on a streak. Only this time we're not going to throw to the wide receiver because he's going to get matched by the linebacker or the safety in the middle of the field. Only this time the B receiver is going to be behind because he has to get matched by the quarter flat, making it that much easier for him to get over the top. So if you're not sure whether it's cover 4 match or cover 4 palms, even though there is a giveaway based on the fact that this cornerback is down in an almost press look, that typically means palms. But if you're not sure, you really just have to watch both these receivers and see which one gets matched by the safety, as the one that does not get matched by the safety is going to be wide open, as we basically get over the top once again. Now when it comes to other matching style defenses like cover 6 and cover 9, they're basically the same thing, only one side's cover 2 and the other side's cover 4, so you really have to just determine which side's which. So all you really got to do is read the defense to see which side's the cover 2 side and which side's the cover 4 side, and use the setup that I showed to basically beat either side of those defenses. The cover 2 side is definitely going to be the easier one, and on this play you can tell it's on the left side because the cornerback's 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, while on the other side he's 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, meaning that we're going to work the cover 2 side just by putting the X receiver on a streak once again. And we already saw how the B receiver just gets inside of the safeties when there's 2 of them. Well, now there's only 1, so it makes it even easier. Now there's also something to be said about the spacing of the wide receivers in this play. As I'm going to pick that play again, I'm going to show you guys how to get open up the cover 4 seam, which doesn't even really exist, by picking the cover 4 drop field, which is a very different cover 4 than cover 4 match. As we're going to do the same thing, we're going to keep this to the hash mark to the wide side of the field. I'm going to put the X receiver on a post route or on a comeback route once again, and then I'm going to put the B receiver on a corner route, where all I have to do is custom stem him up to about 10 yards above the break of the corner route. And you're going to notice how we're going to get a one-on-one with the safety, who's not really matching. So when he breaks to the outside, it's going to be a very easy catch and run to space. As there's something about the wide spacing between these 2 receivers, based off the fact that this receiver out here is going to hold the cornerback down, while this receiver going up the slot is going to get a one-on-one with the safety that's really only designed to keep the play from going over the top. So when he breaks to the outside, it's just a very easy one-play touchdown with much worse coverage. This play can also have a lot of success against man coverages using the same setup that I showed against match coverage. So let's go and let's pick that, and we're going to pick a play that everybody has issues with, or at least a lot of people do, with the mid blitz. And we're going to do the same setup where we put Van Sumerman here, the fullback, who, like I said, you can substitute in a running back, motion him out, and we're going to draw the attention to the best cornerback on the team, but it's not going to matter based off the fact that we're going to get that interference once again, as he has to run through it one more time through that in route, and you can see he's getting open over the top. So you can either do that, or like I said, you could just switch over to the running back, who's probably going to be even better. He's matched with the safety. Let's go ahead and we'll block. We'll probably have to slide protection or something like that to get this blitz picked up. But you can see how it's going to be the same effect, although that time it was actually a little bit more difficult because the fullback's not going to do as good a job as blocking. But if you want a little bit more speed, or if you don't want to be covered by the top cornerback on the team like the fullback is here, you could always use the other guy, the other running back. As you can see, we do have a lot of consistent catch and run here, and Sumerin, I think, is like a 53 overall fullback. As you can see, once again, it's always the same thing. This in route just perfectly times with the wheel route, knocking this guy off just enough that we're going to get separation on this wheel route every single time against just about any man coverage or matching zone. And it's going to be the same thing against cover one man, so let's pick cover one hole. And we're going to do the exact same thing by putting this guy here on a wheel route, motioning him out, and you're going to notice that it's going to be the exact same effect, as the wide receiver here is just going to get a little bit of a bump, and he's just going to get wide open, as wheel routes give cover one a lot of trouble regardless. And it's going to be the same way when it comes to cover two man, only this time obviously we're going to have a safety over the top. There's actually a couple different options when it comes to cover two man, as I think the best one is probably just to motion out the running back and put him on a streak. And that's because the running back's not going to get pressed. So if I put the X receiver on a streak to hold that safety back, you're going to see how this running back is just going to run right through the middle. And that's something, like I said, I could have been motioning the running back every single time instead of the fullback. The only real reason that I haven't been doing that is because I didn't want people to think that the only reason the play was working was because of Saquon Barkley. But we could do the exact same thing with Van Sumeren. Just basically put him on a streak. You can see how fullbacks, running backs, they just don't get pressed by linebackers, and they're just splitting the center of the field very easily. But you can still also do the same thing with the wheel route. You just want to make sure to put the B receiver on a streak to pull back that safety. You'll see how the wheel route doesn't get covered very well. And this is actually a little bit more dangerous of a throw, but I just want to show that you do have options. As it would probably be better in this scenario, if you're going to try to work that wheel route one more time, to put the X receiver on a streak, because you want to clear this side out as much as possible from the safety. As you can see, there is a throwing window, but it's obviously not as good as just going right down the center. So I'm going to end the video there. But if you guys want to see gameplay of this offense in effect, I will have that popping up on screen right now. So just click the links. And until next time, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.